cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Just let me go, it's only right for all I know. It's only matter, it's calico, it's black and white, 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 white. Make me feel well, oh, I can't break the spell, I just have to be true. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 It's black and white. It's black and white.
Good evening everybody and welcome to the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship for rounds 3 and 4 from Silverstone. Today we're using the international layout on the newer part of the circuit. Of course, it was developed in the late 2010s. My name is Chaz Draycott. Alongside me in the box as ever on this stunning championship and this wonderful Wednesday evening is Peter MacKay. How are we doing, Peter?
I'm very well indeed, Chaz. Very excited for tonight's race, and just been watching the times in qualifying. It's unbelievably close along between Ryan Parkins and Matt Dorrington. Up until very recently, the top three were covered by 0.003 of a second. So I suspect we're going to be in for a real cracker tonight.
I hope so, because this championship has always given us very, very close racing. You can see just how close it still is on the left-hand side there, actually. They've got, less than a tenth between the top three, and then Dan Bathy only 4/10 off the top as well. Got a couple of different liveries out there this evening, and I was having a quick check through some of them before, and a lot of the cars in this field, I mean, we all know they're very, very pretty indeed. James Cummings here in the number 2 car, running a darker livery than usual, just a matte black machine by the look of it, with a chrome lid on the top, or roof as it's known. Ryan Parkins out, reigning champion of course. Didn't have the most easy run to the top, did he, at the first round at Barcelona, but he still sort of came out on top with a lot of confidence, didn't he?
Definitely, yeah. He kept his nose clean, and that has been his secret so far in the sim racing paddock here in the Porsche Club of Great Britain. If you're new to the broadcast here on Simracersworld TV, welcome. And if you're wondering why on earth Ryan has a hippo on the back rear quarter of that, on both the rear quarters of that haunches of that Porsche 911, that is because, of course, Ryan is the reigning champion. He gets to wear the number 1 plate and be named the King Hippo as the master of Porsche Club Great Britain. But this season, Chaz, he's definitely got a few more rivals to worry about. We've got a full season charge from Matt Dorrington, Gavin Hall's right up there as well, and Dan Bathy. He was certainly the revelation of round 1 at Barcelona, and certainly right up there for livery of the season already in that wonderful Sacred Coffee machine.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous looking car. Another one that I was a humongous fan of, as I just tried to find him. By the way, Patrick Charlton, one of the newcomers tonight, another very pretty livery on that car there. The Credible Influence logo up the side of it. Here's Carl Hazelton in the number 24 machine. He was one of the usuals, or the regulars, I should say, not usuals. One of the regulars last season. Colin Wynn out there. That's another very pretty livery from the middle of the field. But I'm just trying to find... Johnny Ely's got a nice new livery this season as well, don't forget. He's in the he was in a very bright yellow livery last season, certainly stood out, but this time the black with the white highlights around the bottom. Looks very stunning indeed. Mark Johnson, he's another one of the newcomers this season, running what looks to be similar sort of Gulf colours, as always looks good on a lot of car. Legends Racing, so I imagine it is some sort of homage to that. There was a car, not sure he's actually here this week. What I'm going to just have a quick check of is... it was not Luke Holroyd, but Luke's in the obviously the very classic livery that we all know and love. But I'm just trying to find who it was last time out that was in the Valiant livery, because I had it on the thumbnail as Luke in car 911, but it's not him this time around, it seems.
Do you know, I can't remember either who it was.
I'm sure it was one of the regulars, wasn't it?
Was it? No, I can't remember. Honestly, can't remember.
I can't remember.
We'll notice it when it comes up on. When it comes up on screen. And we've got a new Haribo car.
We do.
Oh wow, a Gulf Haribo. Oh, this is an overload. I can't handle this.
I love how it's also got the Gulf logo down the side, but it actually says Haribo on it. That's fantastic stuff from Danny Jones. Absolutely loving that. That's brilliant. Really is brilliant. There's good banter amongst the paddock here, isn't there, in this?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, it's a really good community. Yeah, they of course now. Last season we were on weekly races on a Sunday afternoon, but this season we're on fortnightly races here on Wednesday nights, and that gives plenty of time for practice in between. And also, on the off week, the drivers get together for what they refer to as the fun race. And having taken part in one myself at Dorrington a couple of weeks ago, I can confirm it was a whole lot of fun. I don't know if it was for those involved. As I do remember losing my breaking point, shall we say, and punting off Johnny Elia at the last chicane at Dorrington. So apologies, Johnny, for that.
As long as it wasn't Matt Dorrington at Donington, I suppose it's not too bad. But yeah, it's easy to do in these cars, though, isn't it? I mean, they're very, very twitchy machines, and it's it's easy to get it wrong. They do. I've sort of described them a lot as they float around the circuit. They really do just sort of float, don't they? Because they're right on the limit of adhesion. These cars. They don't have all the grip in the world, but it just makes them more fun to drive because they have that little bit of slip about them, and they are a lot of fun anyway, just because of the fact that they're a big challenge to get your head around, aren't they?
They are, but once you master, you get a lot of drivers who specialize with this car, and once they do master it, they don't want to drive anything else because it is so responsive. Of course, it's absolutely unapologetically a Porsche with the engine rammed right at the back of the car, although it is a little bit further forward than what it used to be. Yeah, 4-liter flat six, nearly 500 horsepower, about 485 horsepower. But the production method for these cars is incredibly well. I wouldn't say it's very efficient. It doesn't sound very Porsche. So basically, these cars have quite a unique journey. So they basically make a they build a Porsche 911 GT3 road car and then send it over to the motorsport department where they rip it to bits again and turn it into a race car. And you think that seems a little odd, but it does start life as a 911 GT3. I wonder where all the parts go. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to know. I'm sure someone somewhere could tell us. It was Baxter Jones, by the way, that was the Valent livery, and he's unfortunately not here this week. So we do hope to see you back soon, Mark, because your livery certainly does please us greatly.
We'll be able to give him a warm welcome.
Hey! Oh wow, the puns are going to be thick and fast. Everybody, don't forget that Peter and I, admittedly, by blowing our own horns here, are quite masterful with the puns sometimes, but as you'll all see in here, I'm sure at some point we do like to scrape the bottom of the barrel. This is Mark Phillips, by the way, Bernie, as he's known, number 17, who is one of the series organisers, if not the main series organiser, no disrespect to any of the others. And again, it's another nice understated livery from Mark, and to be fair, he had a lot of pace towards the end of last season, didn't he? He was one of those drivers that was just always there or thereabouts, but now he's got just every bit of hope for this season to go ahead and be a clean one for him. But with missing that first round, you've got to think he's got a lot of work to do straight off the bat.
Yeah, he does. He's got a bit of catching up to do, but we know Bernie, he's got some pace, and he'll have his faithful pooch Ernie watching him. I'm not kidding. His pooch is called Ernie, so Bernie and Ernie are in Yorkshire at the moment. Now, his this new livery of his, he's ditched the kind of triangular pattern, and he's now, forgive me, Bernie, if I'm saying this wrong. Whereby or Whereby, I'm not sure, is a form of video conferencing software that Mark has developed, and we actually filmed the season preview for this on the Porsche Sport podcast using his wonderful software, far superior to other popular video conferencing services, which I won't even give them the airtime to mention their names.
Love it, absolutely love it.
It's good. Bernie points. I'm getting my Bernie points. Top.
Well, it's good to still see, though. You know, the fact that we get these drivers in that have their own sort of ties to a lot of the logos on the cars. It's nice to see. This is Dan Bathy, clearly driving on his phone or something as he goes down the straight there. James Cummings has just gone up into 5th place. Mark Baxter Jones commenting on the stream. Good evening all. Good to see you, Mark. It's a shame not to see you out there, mate, but hopefully you have a good evening doing what you're doing and watching the stream. Carl Sharkey as well says, what's up, dudes? He's watching from Italy. Hope you're having a nice time out there, mate. He just says he's sad to be missing the race as well.
He's on a caravan holiday.
Yeah, Caravan Carl. This is Oliver Carwardine, number P13, car 80 at the moment. And he's 1.2 seconds off the top spot. And to be fair, Peter, we've not really got much of a spread from the top spot over the course of this field. If I just click on Ryan Parkins, who's actually sat in the pits, the gap through from the very top driver to the bottom is only about 3.6 seconds. So you've got to say that it's not too much of a tall order for these drivers to sort of catch up and stay with the pack here, as we do look at Gary Tall. And as we said at the start of his season, we were expecting him to be head and shoulders above the rest, but it's not quite been the case so far.
Yeah, well, certainly the spoilers. You can see the spoiler on the back of the 911 Cup car. That certainly is leading up. That is on brand for Gary. It's certainly towering. In fact, from what I understand, of a few guys who own the road-going version, the 911 GT3 RS, apparently the big wing on those cars that they fit to the road car as well is excellent for putting a cup of tea and a cake on to eat off. You can use it as it's a very handy picnic table as well, an expensive one at that. But there's the checkered flag, and it looks like Ryan Parkins has just edged it by 66 thousandths of a second.
Nicely done by Ryan Parkins, reigning champion King Hippo. Smashing job indeed. Gary Tall ends up in 8th position after that session, with Mark Phillips still inside the top 10. And Jamie Ward saying, stuck in London tonight, but looking forward to watching. Good to see you, mate. And there was a couple of liveries then that weren't quite right. Luke Holroyd has messaged me and says his should be the Porsche Sport livery, so I've updated that on Trading Paints. Hopefully we will see the right one. But here we go then, the grid for the first race of the evening. Ryan Parkins on pole position alongside Matt Dorrington on the front row, with Gavin Hulls and Dan Bathy on row 2. Then we have James Cummings and Johnny Elia on row 3. Patrick Charlton starts 7th on his debut, with Gary Tall in 8th, ahead of Paul Rieger and Mark Phillips on row 5. Then it's Chris Bowie and Luke Holroyd 11th and 12th. Oliver Carbadine 13th, ahead of Stuart Clark, Angus Archer and Mark Johnson, with Danny Jones in the Haribo car 17th, ahead of Byron Crawford. I've still got that wrong, sorry Byron. Paul Stout 19th, Carl Hazelton 20th, and it's Andrew Shepherd and Stephen Kershaw on row 11. Gilles Gardner, Colin Wynne, Andrew Soper and Mark Searle, with Andrew Marston and Ryan Penny lining up at the back of the grid. So we're just waiting for Ryan Parkins to take to the grid now. There he is, and he will lead the way from the start of this one. Carl Hazelton a little bit further down there in car 24, P20 on the grid. But the first race of the night about to get underway. We will have a bit of a longer break between these two races tonight due to the format of this race meeting. But the first race of the night in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship from Silverstone is underway. The lights didn't get held for long. Look at Patrick Charlton in the number 27. He got a really good launch off the line there. Managed to run away with it. Dorrington down the inside. A little bit of shenanigans in the middle here. Luke Holroyd involved. Oh, Gary Tall's off. He's off on the right-hand side. He doesn't get collected by anybody by the look of it. But Ryan Parkins has held on to the lead in the first couple of corners. Everyone just taking it nice and tentatively. That's what we like to see. A bit of good behaviour there through these first few corners, Peter. It's easy for him to all get this wrong, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So the new rule for this season is something called the orange zone rule. So if you make contact with another driver in the opening lap, you have to take yourself for a drive-through penalty. If you do not, you will be disqualified from the race. So that is the best start we have ever seen in Porsche Club of Great Britain Sim Racing history, I might add. So well done to all the drivers, keeping it nice and steady, nice and clean. But let's see if they pull the pin as we go on to lap 2.
And Gavin Hulls has dropped down the order and I believe disconnected, unfortunately. Such a shame for Gavin. So early on as well. It's an absolute nightmare. I suppose it's probably better than it doing it right near the end when he's put the effort in to try and get a win. But this is Matt Dorrington then chasing down Ryan Parkins. And as Peter said, Matt is going to be one of the drivers that we need to keep an eye on as chasing down reigning champion King Hippo, Ryan Parkins.
Yeah, Ryan Parkins will have he'll have his full fan club watching tonight, including Kate from Ari Crew. Hi Kate, if you're watching, hope you're enjoying this. I'm sure you are, with Ryan leading the pack at the moment, but I don't think he's going to have this all his own way tonight. I think Matt Dorrington looks in spicy and racy mood, but Dan Bathy, his great start to the season continues in 3rd, and Patrick Charlton, his first race ever in the paddock here in the Porsche Club of Great Britain, and Patrick has quite a bit of real-world racing experience as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later on. But Ryan Parkins, not often we see him lead from the start like this. Often he picks his way through the field quite neatly. Yeah,
he does indeed. He's always good at that. What, Paul Rieger there doing a bit of stunt driving as he tries to overtake Mark Phillips, with Chris Bowie right behind him. Dan Bathy does the fastest lap of the race on lap 2. Watch out for Dan over the course of the evening. Down the inside though goes Mark Phillips on James Cummings. James has got a real train of cars behind him here. He's going to have to defend pretty hard to make sure that he holds these guys off, as he just locks up through the right-hander. Looking back from James Cummings' car now. Look at all of the guys trying to queue up behind. There goes Paul Rieger down the inside big sense from Paul Rieger. He's now side by side with Mark Phillips. Even further back, Oliver Carwadine is now under pressure from Stuart Clark as well. But a very, very nice, clean few laps here to start this race, Peter. But look at this at the very front of the field. These three getting a little bit friendly with one another as we come on to lap 4.
And Dan Bathy, he is just in the perfect spot. He has got the grandstand view of this battle, but he can be really clever here. He can just sit at the back and just watch what's going on as we see. Oh, Paul Rieger zooms past Mark Phillips there in the number 17 machine. So Paul Rieger on the move up to 7th position. We know we don't call him Paul Anchors Rieger for nothing. He is deadly late on the brakes, says Paul, and he's in racy mood tonight. He's off.
Car 7, P7. He does this quite often as well, does Paul Rieger. His customary 7th position, as we saw from Season 1. He actually took a win at the final race of the meeting at Spa-Francorchamps. Now Danny Jones is side by side here with Paul Stout. Harry Bocart just trying to get down the inside. It's so difficult to get this corner right. I was actually racing in a different sim on this exact circuit last night, streaming it on Twitch. And let me tell you, in front-wheel drive cars, it's not as easy as it would be in these Porsches, and even then it's still difficult. Byron Crawford now just behind in the number 12 car. Very pretty blinds to go livery on that machine. He's just sitting in the gap there trying to get down the inside as Stout has gone very deep into Stowe. Mark Searle has had an issue. He's got going again in the BWT car, but this is still going on. The Byron Crawford and Paul Stout. Paul back down the inside. That was actually a really good recovery, to be fair, wasn't it, Peter? Because it's not the easiest to regain any momentum if you go wide at the bottom of the straight there.
No, that just kills it, doesn't it? And that's these Porsches, they really need you need to kind of square the corner off, get it pointed in the right direction, and just get the car boogieing, get the power down, and get it driving off the corner. If you can't sort of, like you say, it normally compromises you very well. But Paul Stout did recover reasonably well. There's Byron Crawford. Oh wow, that was close. Now blinds. Is that a sort of like portable blind? You know when you stay in a cheap hotel and the curtains are really thin, maybe you take your blinds to go blind with you and you just stick it up on the wall maybe. I mean, let's find out what that company does. I mean, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory, but blinds to go. I've never realised that you needed a portable blind.
I know, yeah. I'm going to have to query that one because with the amount of travelling I'm probably going to be doing soon, I might as well get on with that. This is Stuart Clark as well that hopes that Luke Holroyd's going to be doing a bit of travelling and in any direction other than close up behind him, because Stuart Clark is all under all sorts of pressure. Danny Jones just behind as well has lost out to Paul Stout, so I think Danny's had his own little issue there because now he's in the middle of that fight. But back at the front, sorry for this frantic switching, there's just so much going on. Ryan Parkins is really having to think about this. Byron Crawford went off the circuit and has come back on. He's lost a lot of time out of the final corner. Well, here's your race lead battle then. Ryan Parkins, he's going to have to get on the defensive pretty soon, isn't he, Peter? Because it's not going to be an easy run for him from here.
No, definitely not. Having Matt Dorrington in your mirrors is never a comfortable feeling, but Dan Bathy, he's right there in the mix as well, and of course the laps just click off here so quickly as we head down towards the club chicane and gets very, very close there. Probably Matt Dorrington just a little bit maybe a little bit stronger on the brakes there, but Ryan being very, very smooth as he always is.
Yeah, Ryan's just got this sort of knack for keeping the car nice and tidy, hasn't he, around every single corner, and that just shows. But Dorrington does the fastest lap of the race, and he's only 0.06 of a second faster than Parkins' lap time, so the two of them very evenly matched. Dan Bathy drops off a tiny bit there. Danny Jones is still in this fight with Paul Stout as they go around the final corner and across the line once again. 7 minutes of this race gone in the first of two 20-minute sprint races this evening. Don't forget we have a reverse grid for race 2, which we saw last time out, caused quite a bit of havoc. Here is a spin for Angus Archer, just around Stowe. Very easy to get that wrong, and that is what happened to lose Danny Jones that time earlier. Paul Stout's had his own issue there. Paul Stout's gone off and just keeps it out the wall. Yeah, I think he may have just been a bit overzealous through the left-hander. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a tiny crest there, and it's easy to get that wrong, to be honest with you. As we go back to our race leaders, though, Ryan Parkins still leading the way. Danny Jones, honestly, Danny's getting in so many fights at the moment. As Tall is around. Whoa, great avoidance by Danny Jones. And I hope Gary Tall doesn't get hit. And yeah, he gets out of the way. But Another scary moment there, wasn't it, Peter?
Gary Toll had to duck out the way there from the cars going through.
Oh.
So, but yeah, Ryan Parkins and Matt Dorrington, they're clearly pushing both on that last lap, both putting in their fastest laps of the race, and they're just stretching Dan Bathy slightly. But there's of course two reasonable length straights here, so there is time to be able to slipstream the car in front. And oh, Bernie's off! Oh, dearie me! Oh, dear.
Over rotates at high speed. That's what I was on about with these Porsches just floating around the circuit. Chris Bowie's also gone off just in front of him, actually. In avoidance, he lost it. I thought there was more smoke than expected there. That's a real shame for the pair of them. But they both continued, both in the positions they were in before. But the two closest cars on track are still these pair. Matt Dorrington just chasing down Ryan Parkins now. And to be honest, they're just trading lap times at the moment, aren't they, Peter? And it's this sort of enticing battle that we need to see, because Parkins was, while he was challenged a little bit for the title last season, he was just always that consistent front runner that no one could really beat when it came to direct pace. So it's good to see someone really chasing him down like Dorrington is now.
Definitely, and I think the real secret to Ryan's championship last season was very much his performances in race 2, where obviously he would be starting from the back most of the time as certainly a front runner in race 1, and that was where he really got his hands on the title, because he just avoided the incidents the others got in. He just picks his way through cleanly. If we watch him in race 2, you'll see him going incredibly gingerly and safely through the opening laps, and then deploying the pace when the kind of sea is parted in front of him slightly. So but whether he'll actually have that luxury with the new protagonists coming into the championship full time, we've seen Matt run selected rounds in the last season, but Matt this time around looking to do the full season, and also Dan Bathy as well. But really gutted for Gavin Halls as well, because he had the same pace as these guys in practice, and technical issues. If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all with Gavin Halls.
It's very true indeed. But I mean, just sort of reiterating, in sim racing, they don't usually sort of simulate engine failures. It's not something that you get, like a random part or a random puncture or anything like that. So it leaves the sort of technical issue side down to the internet and the hardware. So, it's just part and parcel of it. Some people have more reliability than others, but Matt Dorrington now right on the back of Ryan Parkins. This is a phenomenal chase to watch. The King Hippo himself having to really be careful here about the car behind, but Matt also as well. He knows how twitchy and unsettled these cars can get, so he's not really trying anything too aggressive at the moment, is he? He's just biding his time, and I think he'll just be eyeing up where Parkins is potentially going to make a mistake, or where he has that pace advantage over him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really sizing him up now, making him think about it. We're only at halfway, so it's still plenty of time to go, but it was interesting they're running on board with Matt Dorrington coming out the final corner there, just how much he was short shifting. And that's very much, you see that a lot in these cars where they've got quite a wide power band, and you can afford to short shift and not actually lose that much time. But also it helps to really smooth out the power delivery as well. You'll see a lot of drivers doing that to keep the car settled. And as you can see, I mean, neither Ryan nor Matt has put a wheel out of line here in these two cars right now, as we see the 777 BWT machine pulling aside. Very good manners indeed, letting the leaders come through. Yeah,
just down the straight. Nice and easy place to get out of the way. Doesn't make life difficult, although I think Dan Bathy may have just gone a bit wide trying to avoid him there. But, Mark was just doing his best. Dorrington, though, we will stick with this chase because this is very enticing. Andrew Dorrington commenting on the chat saying, "Come on, Matt." And Mark Baxter-Jones asking when Matt's going to send it. Austin Greaterex in the chat as well. Good to see you, mate. He says Matt shouldn't even be driving. I'm not going to ask why. But this is just absolutely fantastic chase. Really is.
Ask, where's Austin? We're missing the zebra himself.
Yeah, Austin, come on. Sort it out, lad.
Come on.
He probably just... He's become a bit of a fan of my voice, it seems. He was trying to follow me around on every stream I was doing the other day. No, I'm joking. But no, it's good to see Austin in the chat. He's a good fan of these streams and of the championship. When he even when he's racing, he's commenting in the chat as well. But look at this now for Matt Dorrington. He's got the run. Surely we're going to see him duck out to the right here. There he is, in towards Stowe. On the brakes, a bit later on the brakes. gets it tucked in, but is Parkins going to get the cutback? That's very clever racing from Ryan Parkins. Leaves Dorrington the room, but now Dorrington's on the inside, but that's going to then become the outside again as they go through club. Dorrington late on the brakes though, runs a bit deep. Parkins is going to try and get the cutback again here. Doesn't manage to do it though, and Dorrington takes the race lead. Great job from Matt. But now the shoe's on the other foot, because right behind him, and still menacing as ever, Ryan Parkins is there. And don't forget Dan Bathy. He's 1.1 seconds off the back of this, and he is really in with a shout if something goes wrong here.
Oh, that was, I'll tell you what, a lovely clean move there from Matt Dorrington into the club chicane, and he actually did a great job just getting it up the inside cleanly and then parking it on the apex, making sure that Ryan couldn't get the cutback. That was really, really impressive there from Matt Dorrington, what we've come to see. Of course, Matt won the opening race of the International Sim Racing Challenge, where the Porsche Club of Great Britain faced up against the Porsche Club of America, and he won the race here in a 911 RSR, which shares a bit of DNA with this car, but a completely different beast to drive. But Ryan Parkins, the King Hippo, has been enraged. I don't think he's going to take this one at all.
No, I don't think so. Matt using his real racing credentials to the best possible ability here, with Parkins just stuck to the back of him. We've had an issue for Paul Rieger. He's got some damage here. Well, some damage, that's quite a lot of damage. Is he going to do the same as we saw Paul Stout do? Oh yeah, that curb just unsettled the car and it goes skating off. Bang into the wall, bounces completely backwards. He was lucky it doesn't go back onto the circuit, to be fair. But Paul Rieger is going to be limping that car home. Big damage to the front left there. That's such a shame to see. Paul has been a real staple in the field for this championship. But Dan Bathy in it right now, he's going to be sitting there thinking, those guys are really on it in front of me, but surely something's got to give at some point. We're nearly 3/4 of the race down. But I don't know. I mean, Dan will be happy with the podium, won't he? Because he was always up there getting podiums last season.
Yeah, absolutely, and you never know. You know, as the championship progresses, if you just gather up all the points, you do a bit of a Dan Camish. You just click off the podiums, and by the end of the championship, you're like, where did he come from? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Dan Bathy's doing an awesome job. He'll be loving this, running up with the fast guys, and running ahead of Patrick Charlton, who's got a lot of experience on iRacing, over 50 official race wins. Patrick Charlton's been running since 2010 on the service, so very much one of the early adopters of iRacing. And did you know that Patrick used to rub fenders with a former 1990s boy band member?
Interesting. Shane Lynch?
Yes. So he used to race in the Lotus Elise Sport Challenge alongside Shane Lynch, Gwyndaf Evans, Will Hoy, Tiffany Dale, Martin Donnelly.
Wow.
So he used to race in that championship. So he's got quite a lot of. He even came third in British GT in 2003 at Castle Combe.
Wow, fair play, Patrick. I wouldn't have known that. Thank you very much for the insight, Peter. We always do love your absolute fountain of knowledge. This is an issue for Kershaw. Oh, a little bit of contact there with the 207 of Gary Tall. And to be fair to Gary, he sort of slows it down and waits, and he gives the place back. That's really nice, that is. And he can hold his head high, you could say, with his manners there.
I could hear it coming. I was like, here it comes. What's it going to be? Oh.
I'm sorry, but it was nice to be able to catch a moment like that from Gary Tall. That's one of the nicer parts of sim racing, is the sort of gentlemanly conduct that we see, isn't it? Sometimes it gets very aggressive and very feisty, but at the end of the day, everyone's in it for the same reason. They all enjoy it, and people give back places like that, and they show really good respect. And that's what this championship's highlighted all along, isn't it? There's never been any sort of fierce or controversial moments. It's just been solid, great racing, and a really good community.
Absolutely, it's proper club motorsport. That's what it's all about. It's and for me, I've said this a lot recently. I think sim racing is well and truly a significant part of what club racing is now, because motor racing is so expensive, and it's not for everyone. You know, not everybody has the budget to go and do it, but in sim racing, that is so much more accessible in so many ways, and you can compete with people all over the world. You know, Gavin Halls, he's in Bahrain. I'm here in Edinburgh. You're down in Cheshire, and it's it's amazing that how sophisticated this technology is. But yeah, just coming back to the point of like that sort of respect from the drivers there, you know, just a little bump and then pulls over to let the other driver by. I wish someone would ask Ash Sutton to do that when he nerfs Rory Butcher off into the gravel like he did on Sunday. I'm not bitter.
One of Ash Sutton's friends right here in the commentary box with you. So that's wow. We'll have words after that. But no, that's fair enough, mate. You know, Carl Hazelton. Carl Hazelton had this exact incident earlier on in practice, and that is the number 4 of Colin Wynn in there as well, and he's certainly not going to get a win if things continue like this. Let's have a look. Wynn's going to come in from the right. I think Carl just maybe didn't see him there. He had a lot of time to sort of react to Colin coming back on the circuit, but unfortunately that just didn't work for him. Carl Hazelton has actually, I think he's had another issue when he was trying to get back on. Dan Bathy's gone off for a second or so, but he's recovered and continued. So he's absolutely fine. Stuart Clark and Luke Holroyd, though, these two have been welded together over the course of this race. And Luke just behind. He did tell me he was meant to be in a Porsche Sport livery, and I've explained that what some of the liveries have is a different file name based on when you show car numbers, and the majority of them have that option ticked. So I've gone for that one, and I think this is Luke's option for having the numbers hidden, and his Porsche Sport one is the opposite. So fingers crossed we can get that sorted. One.
I'm seeing his Sport livery, which is interesting. But I believe the other one he has is a Peterson White Lightning.
Yes, that's what I've got him in right now.
Very cool. Yeah, which is actually quite cool.
It is. Cool, it is awesome, isn't it? Really, really cool. We're gonna have one more lap after this one, with Matt Dorrington still leading the way, but Ryan Parkins, he's not leaving him alone, is he?
Well, this is the biggest square up we've seen to the King Hippo. Ryan Parkins, Matt Dorrington's he's putting one hand in there, saying, "I want to have a go at that crown." And Ryan Parkins going to let him have it? I thought he was going to have a lunge there. It's getting very spicy here in the first race of the Porsche Club of Great Britain visit to Silverstone here in season 2 already, and Ryan Parkins really putting some pressure on Dorrington here. Of course, Matt Dorrington's so unlucky last time out at Barcelona, getting caught up in someone else's incident, but he's looking strong at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking good. Very good indeed. This could really shape up to be an interesting championship based on this. Matt Dorrington, don't forget, was around last week, but got caught out by a back marker towards the end of the race and got absolutely smacked into the sky. But into the final couple of corners then, Dorrington, unless he spins up the rears here, is just going to hold on. And he certainly does. The first race of the evening goes to Matt Dorrington from Ryan Parkins. Brilliant race by the pair of them. Dan Bathy is going to take out the third podium position. And these guys have a 9-second gap back to Patrick Charlton. Absolute celebrity, to be honest, within the paddock. Fantastic to see Patrick racing. Johnny Elia, great finish for him in 5th place. And he's got 2.4 seconds over James Cummings. And then Stuart Clark is 11 seconds back with Luke Holroyd and Oliver Carwadine right behind him. Is he going to hold on as they go across the line out the final corner? And Luke gets a really good run out of there, but he's not going to make it across the line. Stuart Clark takes that final spot. And wow, what a brilliant first race we got treated to there, Peter, as we see more of the cars filtering across the line. Great way to start our evening, and once again, more fantastic racing in this championship.
Excellent racing and really good respect in wheel-to-wheel combat. No, not too many clumsy moves or anything like that in close combat. So yeah, really, really good race. And clearly, I have to say the orange zone rule working very, very well on the opening lap as well.
It really did. And there is your race winner then. Matt Dorrington takes the first race win of the evening here at Silverstone. And we should have results, apparently. Hopefully. Bear with me. There you go. Matt Dorrington takes the win, only a quarter of a second from Ryan Parkins. Dan Bathy finishing in 3rd place. Patrick Charlton, great start for his campaign in 4th ahead of Johnny Elia, James Cummings and Stuart Clark, who just held off Luke Holroyd. Oliver Carwadine and Mark Phillips finished where he started in 10th. Then we have Chris Bowie in 11th with Danny Jones in 12th. Then it's Byron Crawford in 13th ahead of Mark Johnson. Paul Stout was 15th ahead of Gary Tall, Angus Archer and Stephen Kershaw, who we saw have a bit of a moment there. And the cars one lap down or more were Paul Rieger, Colin Wynn, Andrew Shepherd, Andrew Soper, Carl Hazelton, Gilles Gardner, Mark Searle and Andrew Marston, and Gavin Halls and Ryan Penny unfortunately not taking the start in that one. But that was the first race of the night here in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Series, and what a fantastic way to get this underway. So we will be back in about 10 or 15 minutes time with the second race of the evening, where we're going to have a reverse grid, so keep an eye out on that one because we're going to have a lot of fun with that one. You're watching Simracersworld TV and the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. We will be back with you very, very shortly. Apologies for that, everybody. Just making sure everything's set up properly for the second race of the evening here at my side. And we should be ready to go in just a few minutes' time. Welcome back, everybody, to the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship here from Silverstone. We're back for the second race of the evening. Thank you very much for your patience there during that break, just while we got the session set up. Chaz Draycott here in the box with Peter MacKay alongside me. Peter, we saw another wonderfully clean race, actually, in that first one there. And I mean, last time out at Catalonia, we were treated to quite a chaotic encounter that was very, very entertaining all the same. This time, it was like a completely different grid. It was so clean, it was unbelievable.
It must be the comforts of home. Maybe a lot more of our drivers here have, of course, quite a few of them will have real-world experience here on track days and as part of the Porsche Club Great Britain championship as well. So yeah, I think maybe that's got a bit to do with it, but I'm sure the orange zone rule has played a big part as well, trying to get drivers to avoid contact on lap one, which allows allows the field to stretch out that little bit more and really helps to get things moving along cleanly. But yeah, brilliant job from all the drivers, because it might look easy on the broadcast, but as I'm sure you'll agree, Chaz, it is a lot harder than it looks to keep that clean.
Oh, it is. It's ridiculously difficult. Luke's car's still showing in the livery that I used to have for him for some reason, so apologies, Luke. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. He even showed me a screenshot of his trading paints just to say, look, this is the livery it should be in, mate. But no, it seems like Trading Paints has other ideas at the moment, I'm afraid. But even still, it's been pretty crazy that this series has got such fantastic participation. Every single time we go out, we see over 20 cars, and it's a competitive 20 cars as well, isn't it? All the racing is so close together.
It is indeed, yeah. I remember the first time out at Dorrington, we had, I think the whole field was stretched out by something like 8 or 9 seconds now, and that was on the short layout, that was on the national layout. So, you know, it's we're on a similar length, slightly shorter, but not much here at Silverstone International. But it's you look at now how much closer the times are. It's a completely different ball game, and that's been a big testament to the way the paddock has worked out with Gavin Halls and Matt Dorrington doing the weekly track walks, which are always very popular, where everyone can get coaching and get help with what they're doing, and that's made a big impact to get everyone up to speed.
Yeah, that's it. And you know, just that little bit of help that drivers can get, no matter what sort of development they need as part of the series, or even just as part of a team when they're working together, it can be something quite impressive when it all comes together and you see just one driver gets a little bit of coaching just to sort of push them that little bit further and give them a bit more confidence. We see so much improvement from a lot of them, and I'm very impressed with a lot of these drivers in this series. Like you say, the gaps used to be massive between some of these drivers, but now they're right up there, and you know, if you give them a reverse grid pole position, a lot of them will hold that position a lot better than some of them when they first started, where they would have dropped like a stone or even just felt like they have to get out of the way.
Definitely, yeah, and we saw that towards the end of the season in season one, where you know, a lot of drivers getting their first wins of the season late on in the championship, and that was because they had that little bit more experience under their belt. And you know, we can't stress enough just how important track time is in this particular car. It requires quite a different driving style compared to other cars in the iRacing service, and you know, it's you know, you cannot jump into it and go quick straight away. You've really got to build up to it and get a lot of practice. And you know, Ryan Parkins, Matt Dorrington, etc., they all had a lot of experience of this car before coming into the championship. So it's they have not started from scratch either. So those who have started from scratch have done a great job.
Yeah, they certainly have. It's not easy to get the ball rolling in something like this, and when you've got to try and build up that confidence and try and build up your pace as well, you know, you're under pressure to perform and do that in a very short time frame based on what you've got around you in terms of other drivers and even other teams as well. You know, the pressure that you can put yourself under is quite immense. I mean, a lot of people do say that with sim racing you get the same sort of emotion and you feel the same sort of pressure as you would with a real world race, and a lot of drivers know how that feels. But to be honest, I think that there's so many drivers out there now in sim racing that it could potentially prepare them for real world stuff as well, I'd say.
Oh, without doubt, yes, absolutely. We've seen that a number of times. Of course, in the old Gran Turismo Academy days, and that was before really you could call those simulations. Whereas now with iRacing, it definitely does, and you see some drivers that for example, I commentated on a series run by Porsche Canada. And a young chap called Brandon Hawken won all 4 rounds in a really, really competitive field. And the prize was a track day with Porsche.
All right.
And I said, "Oh, have you been on the track before?" He's like, No, never raced or been on the track. Done some go-karting, that was it. And
Wow.
it just shows you a bit of natural talent. I mean, I personally am not a believer in natural talent. There's other reasons for it. But, it's whatever the kind of preparation he'd done was really, really impressive.
Yeah, that's it. It is all about the prep as well. If you can go about it the right way, practice the right way, and make sure that you focus on the right things. I know a lot of drivers, I mean, myself, I've been guilty of it before as well, where you go into a session thinking, right, practice, let's get some laps under our belts, and you come away from it with next to no data, as Johnny Elia has a moment. The session will get advanced in just a moment to the next race, but you can come away from a practice session with no data, or you don't quite know what to look for. Drivers just think that putting laps in time after time again will sort of tell them where they're not improving or tell them where they are improving, and it's not always as straightforward as you believe it to be. So I think a lot of these guys tonight are going to be happy with the development they're showing towards the races, and of course towards their overall pace. But we're going to see more of that improvement as the season goes on, let me tell you that. So Andrew Marston then, I've got as the pole sitter for this race alongside Mark Sill, Gilles Gardner and Carl Hazelton on row 2 with Andrew Soper and Andrew Shepherd, making it all Andrew row 3. Then it's Colin Wynne and Paul Rieger alongside him with Stephen Kershaw and Angus Archer. Then it's Gary Tall and Paul Stout. Byron Crawford and Danny Jones with Chris Bowie and Mark Phillips, with Oliver Carwadine, Luke Holroyd, Stuart Clark and James Cummings rounding out the top 20. Then we have Patrick Charlton and Dan Bathy, Ryan Parkins and Matt Dorrington. And the second race of the evening is underway, and it's a poor start for Gilles Gardner. The car bogs down off the line. Carl Hazelton goes through the middle in the 24. Down the inside is Mark Sill. It's the 111 against the 777. Let's have a look back in the middle. There's a bit of a touch there between the 207. Oh, and around is Andrew Soper. He's just fallen by the wayside a little bit there. Parkins has already gained 4 places, and so has Matt Dorrington. How do these boys do this as they go past? I mean, they're not even going past the likes of some of the slower guys in the series. That's Carl Hazelton off the circuit. Andrew Marston's held on, but it looks like the 777 of Mark Searle has gone down the order as well. But Andrew Marston leads the race here, and look who's with him there, Peter. It's Paul Rieger.
And look at Andrew Marston. He's ditched the novice sticker. The novice sticker has gone from the back of the pink pig. So well done, Andrew. He's got rid of the novice sticker, and he is. I tell you what, he's doing a great job at the front here with. Now, bear in mind, the guy behind him, Angus Archer, races for real in the Boxster Championship, I should say, in the Porsche Club of Great Britain. But, look, Stuart having a big old lunge up the inside there. Oh, and look, there's Patrick Charlton getting his elbows out too. Dan Bathy goes through. Matt Dorrington, and Ryan Parkins has got really held up there, but we know, don't panic, that's just the style that he has. Just picks his way through carefully.
Use that runoff, boys. Make the most of that. Wow. That was a very feisty first lap, but Matt Dorrington at the moment has gained 11 places. Your biggest mover is Patrick Charlton, who's gained 12. What a fantastic start he's had to this race, although that was a scary moment there. He's got Luke Holroyd right in front of him. That was nearly contact, and behind Andrew Shepherd's getting scared about Matt Dorrington chucking it up the inside. He's gained another place. Now he's gained 13. Dan Bathy's gained 12. Ryan Parkins trying to go with him. There's a car around there. That's Danny Jones. Oh, he doesn't love it so, does he?
No, he's he'll be getting a bit dizzy. He's had too many star mix there. He's spun around and he got help. Oh, a big hope. Look, Holroyd, tut, naughty. Take a trip to pit lane, sir. That is he's just the big bully who's stolen all the Haribos from the little kid in the school playground there. That was very unpolite.
Well, lap 2 as well, so he's just thinking, nah, be alright. Carl Hazelton's had a bit of an issue. He's gone off at Stowe. James Cummings is coming into the pit lane. I can't click on him fast enough. He's on his way in for some reason. But Paul Rieger He's at the front, and he's trying to run away with this at the moment, Peter, because he now has a 3-second gap over the other blue and white car, Angus Archer. Whoa, that's going to feel like a 50p after that sort of lock-up. Andrew Marston, Stephen Kershaw. Oh, Kershaw's lost it in Holroyd again, getting the JCB digger scoop out on the front of that Porsche.
You beat me to it. Oh, no.
Marston got absolutely collected there by Holroyd, didn't he?
Oh, I wish there was another, a brand of
Cat
equipment. Cat, yes, Cat. He's Caterpillar Holroyd. He's Bulldozer Holroyd.
Oh God! Well, you can't say that this series doesn't give us anything to laugh about or give us entertainment, because what a fantastic start to the race. Plenty going on once again. This is now Stuart Clark trying to fight with Johnny Elia and Byron Crawford. The two of them side by side almost as they go into club. Rieger doing fastest lap of the race again. Patrick Charlton now has got Dan Bathy and Ryan Parkins behind him and Matt Dorrington in front of him. So this is a bit of a baptism of fire, isn't it, Peter?
It is. He's got Dan Bathy and Ryan Parkins for company, but all that real-world racing experience, I'm sure, will pay off here for sure for Patrick Charlton. He's got a lot of experience in the sim as well, don't forget. And, well, could these be the 4 championship protagonists on screen right now? Matthew Dorrington, he's about 10 car lengths up ahead with Patrick Charlton, Dan Bathy and Ryan Parkins. I suspect they are going to be, but Paul Rieger, when he gets out front, he can be really fast, and we saw him do that at Spa at the end of last season, where he got a dominant victory as Dan Bathy goes past Patrick Charlton. He's got the inside line. Can he make it stick? Oh, wow.
I think that was more down to Patrick squeezing the line off there. He just didn't leave the room for Dan to go down the inside, I'm afraid, especially at Stowe. He needs to be very careful about that. Dan hits the curb. Good avoidance from Ryan Parkins then. He just thought, wow, okay, it shouldn't be on 2 wheels. Goes down the inside, opportunistic stuff. And through he goes. But now look at Patrick Charlton. He's going to get the run. Dorrington does the fastest lap of the race. Patrick's thinking, right, I need to get you back now. I'm going to go down the inside again here and see what we can do. Side by side around turn 1. They go. A bit of a slide there from Patrick Charlton. And Luke Holroyd loses out a little bit of time behind. But he's just going to be trying to play this safe now, thinking, right, I can start polishing the front of my bulldozer again and see what we can push out of the way. Maybe he's probably just angry that I've got the wrong livery on, and he's just trying to scrape it all off the front of the car. He's like, "Look, see, I promise it's not that livery." Danny Jones, then he's again getting stuck in here. Danny's always in a fight with somebody on track, isn't he? He's just one of those drivers that always finds himself not so much in trouble, but he's always at the entertaining end of things.
Everybody wants to steal his sweets. That's what it is. He must have the front root of that car must be full of it. I'm sure. Now it's interesting. Mark Phillips. He looks like he's kind of coming onto the back of that battle with Luke Holroyd. I wonder if they're in communication with one another. If only there was a way. If only there was a form of software where you could, telecommunicate with somebody and on their computer screen where they could see your face. And you could see their face. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing? Oh, Whereby. Yes, download Whereby for now for free on your chosen app supplier. And I'm sure Mark will be able to set you up with that.
I'm sure he will.
Nice one.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Give you that. Stephen Kershaw's just had an issue. What's gone on here? He stopped and then got going again. Oh, he's trying to get out of the way of people. See what happens.
Looks good for running out of petrol in that car.
The graphics. That's a big off that as he goes through the crest, through the left-hander. He's got going again though, and he does continue. Gary Tall is still in 3rd place, but he has got, out of all people, race 1 winner Matt Dorrington tucked right up behind him now. Let's see how he can hold on here.
Yeah, doing a grand job is Gary Tall. He's got his novice sticker on, but I think that's a little bit of mind games, because Gary Tall has an I rating of 2,400, which is very impressive indeed. That takes a long time to build up an I rating of that high level, and to have a novice sticker on, I just think that's an interesting little tactic there from Gary Tall.
Yeah, it's like you say, a bit of mind games, but Dorrington not having any of that. Around the outside, then becomes the inside. And through he goes. And this, I think, is the start of what could be a good championship campaign here for Matt Dorrington. Obviously, Catalonia didn't quite go his way. Ryan Parkins only 2 places back from him, but he's still going to be trying everything he can to do what is known as damage limitation here when it comes to championship points. Look at this further down the order. Chris Bowie with Johnny Elia just in front of him somewhere. There he is. He was just out of shot. And then you've got the number 12 of Byron Crawford in there as well. Stuart Clark just behind. So plenty of cars overlapping here. And this is the great bit about these reverse grid races, isn't it? The mid-pack is amazing.
It is. The times are so close in the mid-pack here. And I have to say, Johnny Elia, that new livery is really cool. Although I really like it. Although it does look like he's run through a giant puddle of Tipex, though. Do you not think?
Yeah, it does. To be fair, I was going to try and sort of come out with a clever way of answering that, but yes, is my answer. Here's two classic Porsche liveries fighting with one another in the form of Paul Stout and Luke Holroyd. Luke obviously not meaning to be in that livery, but I'm afraid Trading Paints, which these drivers run to get their liveries across to us, has definitely got that set up for Luke, I'm afraid. As now Luke tries to find a way through past Paul. Oh, there's a car with a massive lock-up in the background. I think that was Gary Toll, you know. I think Gary just ran a bit deep. Matt Dorrington's gained 21 positions, by the way, to get up to third. Absolutely stunning drive, and to do that in 8 minutes as well just shows some of the pace difference in this field. But as we were saying before, the actual pace difference has closed up a lot. Luke Holroyd has a very scary moment there. Mark Phillips late on the brakes. Dorrington another fastest lap of the race. But this is a brilliant scrap we've got going on here, isn't it, Peter? All these cars sort of just concertinaing up to one another, and we've got a bit of an accordion effect going on.
We do, and interestingly, Paul Riga was a 105.17 last time around, and yeah, Matt Dorrington 104.43. Wow, that's fast. But Paul Riga, he's going absolutely hell for leather here.
Oh no! It's contact on. Chris Bowie goes into him. It was Luke Holroyd, I think, had an issue going through turn 1. Mark Phillips managed to catch up with him. Luke's got a bit of damage to the front left, so Luke goes off. Mark catches up with him. Oliver Carwadine's had an issue, so we're going to have a look at him. Look at this. Mark Phillips down the inside. And then Mark, to be fair, Luke just drives into the back of him, I'm afraid. And Chris Bowie doesn't really have anywhere to go. Carwadine's gone off. Let's have a look what's happened to him here. Is he going to get hit into by one of the cars behind? No, there's a car around. Oh, it's Stuart Clark. Oh, and the 12 was around as well in there. That was Byron Crawford. I keep calling him Brian Crawford. I'm sorry, mate. But a bit of shenanigans going on there. By the way, Dorrington has gone up a position now into second place. We're just going to have a quick look at how he got past Angus Archer.
Here he goes then, coming down towards the very quick right-hander of Stowe, and oof, gets plain. Nobody, well, that was pretty simple going there for Matt Dorrington. Was almost by before the braking zone, but Ryan Parkins, interesting, just taking his time, but he'll need to get a move on. Only 9 minutes of this race left, and he'll definitely want to be getting dispatching of Gary Toll and Angus Archer to try and minimise the damage in championship points lost to Matthew Dorrington. And but I tell you what, Matt Dorrington, he's really going to have to keep that pace on if he wants to catch Paul Riga, because Paul is lapping very strongly as well.
He is. I mean, Paul's done a great job, like you said before. Once this guy gets out in front or has a bit of clear air in front of him, his performances can be absolutely spot on. He's always caught up in the mid-pack or in sort of inside the top 10. He is quick, but he just has a bit of bad luck in those battles, doesn't he? And he just gets held up by being in said battles, and it does compromise his overall pace of the race. But 11.5 minutes through so far, and Paul Riga has a 4.5 second gap. Ryan Parkins has just gone past Angus Archer out of, I believe, Village, and now down through the right-hander onto the hanger straight, and he's got a brilliant run here on Gary Toll. I think he's going to have both of them in one lap and in a couple of corners. Again, that damage limitation working well for Ryan Parkins, and it's just another sort of a standard performance that we expect from Ryan, isn't it, on this one, Peter, where he just gets the places done. He's not always in the biggest of rushes to do it, but he just does it in a very tidy manner, doesn't he? He's not the most dramatic or incredibly sort of exuberant to watch, but he just gets the job done.
He does, yeah, for sure. And but as I mentioned before the broadcast, I think he's got quite as you mentioned also, he's got quite a few more rivals to worry about this season. And I wonder if he'll maybe, he could almost afford to just pick his way through gently to the lead in race 2 last season. But this season looks like it could be a different matter altogether. And Matt Dorrington's certainly a little bit quicker through the traffic. It's going to be interesting. We're going to a wide variety of circuits throughout the year, throughout the season, I should say. And I tell you what, one I'm most excited about, Road Atlanta. Cannot wait to go to Road Atlanta. And boy, do I have some interesting facts for that track for you, Chaz.
I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. And I remember also I was scheduling the broadcasts for this series just the other day. I saw Road Atlanta come up on the list and I thought, wow, these cars around there are going to be very scary indeed. There's so much elevation change there, so many blind apexes. And the fact that these cars, I mean, there's a lot of sections on that track where you need to be planted on the throttle, and these cars are exactly the opposite of that when you get a little bit overexcited, let's say, on the throttle. As Johnny Elia down the inside of Paul Stout. This is a good performance from Paul. I mean, he probably won't mind me saying last season was a little bit scrappy for him. He was caught up in a lot of incidents, and he had quite a lot of spins and little moments, but he's doing a great job here staying inside the top 10. He's got Luke Holroyd right behind him there. And again, the two classic Porsche liveries right together. It was a bit of a shame not to see Manthey Racing at the Nürburgring 24 hours over the weekend, but of course with the COVID situation and their drivers from Le Mans either testing positive or at least just playing it safe and not entering, it was a shame not to see that car take part. But good to see Paul Stout repping that livery tonight. Chris Bowie's on the back of this as well, actually. So this train, while it's a little bit spread out, this could get very interesting in these last few laps.
Yeah, Chris Bowie getting his moment of fame right here, right now, with 5 minutes to go. You like that one?
Yeah, that was a subtle one, Matt.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, though, he's got to be careful because he's got Sergeant Bash, Luke Holroyd in front of him.
Robot Wars pun. That goes down well with me, mate. I'll take that all day. Love it.
Charles. We should get Craig Charles on and do some Robot Wars.
Oh my! Well, I tell you what, I would happily bow out of commentary if Craig Charles was going to be the commentator. I can imagine that'd be phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But we have at the moment Mr. Tall trying to hold on to Dan Bathy. Well, trying to hold off Dan Bathy because Dan, as we've seen, can be very quick indeed. He's got a bit of damage to the front left of that car, so maybe hindering his handling slightly. Patrick Charlton, by the way, side by side with Angus Archer, just in the background. Dan Bathy did try it on Gary Toll, but didn't make it stick. That was Charlton down the inside of Angus Archer. Angus is another one that's doing well here, 7th place at the moment. He'll be happy with that. No, kids and grown-ups love it so, but Danny Jones has let it go, and around he goes again. I'm sure he was there before, wasn't he, after a bit of contact with Luke?
Yeah, it's just not ideal at all, is it?
Paul Stout. Paul Stout's had an issue. Sorry, mate. Paul Stout. Oh, no.
Bernie Bash.
Oh, no. Oh, that's such a shame for Paul Stout. He was doing so well. He's now down in 13th position. That's absolutely gutting. And Dan Bathy, sorry, mate, he's all over it all.
I'm sure the steward, Mark Phillips, will look really, really closely at that one.
Oh, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? Bless him. Absolutely bless him. Well, 4 minutes to go here, and what an entertaining evening we've been having so far in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. And we have more and more battles developing as this race gets even further into its life. But Gary Toll, he's been a real surprise here for me, actually. He's really sticking with Dan Bathy and properly showing him how it's done. And he's not allowing him to get away. He's just got to leave himself a bit of headroom, I think, with the moves, especially when he goes down the inside. Squeezing the gap, bit of contact, nice save. Dan Bathy has an extra dent in the front left of that car now. Gary Toll lives to fight another day.
Oof, great stuff, yeah, brilliant. And I tell you what, these cars, they do not need much of a help at all from the back of the car, and you are around. So Yeah, Gary Toll was on top of that one, but Dan Bathy, and he's looking very racy indeed. Down the inside he goes. This is
Oh,
on the roof. Oh, nearly. Now what was the robot in Robot Wars that did all the flipping? I can't remember.
Oh, it was Chaos 2.
Chaos
2.
Yes!
And the original robot that could self-right itself was called Cassius in Season 1, and when it did it the first time, everybody lost their absolute minds. But anyway, Dan Bathy's hopefully not going to lose his mind, but he's got Patrick Charlton right behind him now. He's just sick of seeing these cars trying to come at him. He gets a move done, and then straight away he's being attacked again. Patrick Charlton, obviously with all the experience here, trying to make it work around the outside at Stowe. That was a very brave man, but he's actually got it down the inside as well. Onto the brakes he goes. Turns it in. Oh, the overlap's gone. Dan Bathy gets a lot of curb, has to slow it up. Patrick Charlton, nice move up into 4th place. But now look at this. Dan Bathy's got a compromised exit, and Gary Toll goes through as well. And so does Angus Archer. If he can get this hooked up before turn 1, he'd do well to make sure that he holds his own line there and just tries to follow Gary Toll through. Doesn't quite work though. 2 minutes to go here, Peter, and this is still a red-hot race.
It is indeed. Yeah, great to see Gary Toll and Patrick Charlton, 2 newcomers to Porsche Club of Great Britain Sim Racing paddock, getting their elbows out and having a good old battle. It's brilliant stuff and good respectful racing all around. A few little bits of contact, but what have you seen?
It's just absolutely that cone. I don't know what it did to Gary Toll, but it got absolutely sent to the moon then. So a little bit of contact with the cone more than anything else.
The gap at the front, only 1.3 seconds. Is that going to be enough of a gap? Oh, for Paul Riga. He'll just be looking in his mirrors going, come on, checkered flag, come out, please.
I think as well, we're going to have 2 laps because he had 1 minute 15 seconds as he crossed the line. So this man now, Matt Dorrington, as we look on board, will be chasing him down. And we've got traffic in front as well, Peter. This could get very, very interesting here.
You won't be able to see this, viewers, but I can tell you my leg is jiggering about. Proper
Same here.
Right. Yeah, it is. Which one? Are you left or right? My left one's going like crazy right now.
Oh, it's my right one. So between us.
Yeah, a pair. A matching pair. So go under. I need a Johnny Walker scotch. We've gone under the Johnny Walker bridge there. I need a scotch to calm me down. This is... Oh, I can't imagine what Paul Riga's feeling right now, but Matt Dorrington, he's just pulling him in corner by corner. You can just hear the This is this is scary, but got 2 cars in front. It's Carl Hazelton and I think Gilles Gardner who spun. Oh my word!
Oh, Riga's wide. You've got the gap live in the bottom right corner to the nearest thousandth of a second as well. 1 more lap to go here in the second race of the evening in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. It's Paul Riga leading Matt Dorrington through turn 1 at Silverstone, 2.2 seconds behind. This is Ryan Parkins as well, so if anything happens there, Ryan's going to try and take advantage through turns 1 and 2. There you go, into the right-hander. Then very, very slow corner here. We'll keep the gap up in the bottom right so you can see it. You've got to think now, Peter, Matt Dorrington's going to try and get this done in the slipstream, isn't he, as they get onto the straight, and there's a car in front. I think that's Andrew Soper. Oh, look at the run that Dorrington's got. That's gorgeous.
I'll tell you what, Paul Riga can pick him here, though. Look at this. Paul can box him in. Look at this. This is now that. I think it's Carl Hazelton in front.
It is.
Paul Riga can box him in. Is he going to do it? He does. Very clever there. Perfectly allowed. Paul Riga very, very smart there. Just boxing Matt in. Matt gives him the room. They head down towards the club chicane for the final time. Is Matt going to send it? Of course he is. Oh, but he's not. He's not. Paul Riga's late enough on the anchors. It's going to come down to the last corner.
He plays it safe. What can Paul Riga do as he gets into the last corner then? Tucks the car in. He's got a really good run through there. And Paul Riga takes the second race of the evening. Fantastic stuff. Ahead of Matt Dorrington and Ryan Parkins. 2 podiums apiece for those guys this evening. 4th place, Patrick Charlton. What a drive. 17 positions gained to take that one. And Dan Bathy, more consistent points finishes there for him tonight. And a bit further down the order, by the way, Gary Toll, Angus Archer, Johnny Elia, Mark Phillips and Chris Bowie are going to round out your top 10. But look at this. Paul Stout has got Byron Crawford, Danny Jones and James Cummings right together there, just behind him. This is going to get a bit feisty into the final corner as Stout has gone down the inside. Oh, no! How did James Cummings not hit anybody? How did that car not hit? I do not believe that car did not make contact then. That was unbelievable.
That was AMF 10-pin bowling job there. Here he goes, he's side. Oh my word!
That was absolutely outstanding. I don't know how he got that car into that gap there, but I think he actually did make contact with Paul Stout. There was the sound of it, but he just didn't actually. It didn't sort of do anything to Paul Stout's car.
You look at what it says on the front bonnet of I mean, you couldn't even get that in with CGI and Fast and the Furious, could you? That was wow.
That was wild stuff there. Absolutely amazing. But Paul Rieger, then, we'll get you the results for that one, because what a race. I need, like you say, I need a scotch to calm down now. That's absolutely mad. I've got another stream after this one as well, flipping heck. Oh, well, there we go. Paul Rieger eventually takes the win from Matt Dorrington, and what a great final lap that was between the pair of them. An amazing battle indeed. Ryan Parkins takes 2 podiums out of this evening, more consistent championship points. Patrick Charlton rounds out a great debut. Is that 2 fourth places in one night, I believe. Dan Bathy finishes in 5th. Gary Tall in 6th place in the 207 machine, ahead of Angus Archer, Johnny Elia, Mark Phillips and Chris Bowie. That's 2 top 10s for Bernie himself. And then we have Luke Holroyd in the 911 in 11th. Then it's Oliver Carwadine in 12th, with Paul Stout 13th in the end. Byron Crawford in 14th, ahead of Danny Jones and Harry Bokar in 15th place. James Cummings eventually finished 16th after his bowling attempt. Colin Wynne finished 17th, ahead of Andrew Soper in 18th position. And then we had Gilles Gardner 1 lap down, as well as Andrew Shepherd, Andrew Marston, Mark Searle and Stuart Clark, with Carl Hazelton 2 laps down and Stephen Kershaw rounding out your field in 25th. But what an absolutely awesome night of racing we've had here, Peter. And, well, it comes to our favourite part of the evening, where we get to speak to these drivers then and get a bit of a chat with some of them and see what's what. But we'll have a quick look who's first in there. And, well, what a perfect person to speak to, who took his win in race 1 this evening. Matt Dorrington joins us in the chat. Matt, how are you doing, mate?
Good evening. How are you doing? All right?
Very, very good. We just need to calm down a little bit after that one, because the 2 races we had there were absolutely tantalising. Just talk to me about your win first off with the victory in race 1. You must be very happy to have taken that one.
Yeah, really happy. Yeah, it was a cracking race, to be honest. Just sat behind Ryan, working out where he was weak, where I was strong, and vice versa. And saw that I was getting slightly better drive off onto that back straight, so I just waited, and he eventually made a tiniest of little mistakes. It just gave me the run. He didn't defend it, so he's obviously looking for the championship already.
Indeed, yeah, that's it. You've got to have your mind fixed on those points from day one, haven't you, in this sort of thing? But
For sure.
Just talk to me about that second one as well, because what a fantastic chase at the end there with Paul Rieger. We were just a few seconds from only having 1 lap left, but you managed to get 2 out of it and really close the gap. Did you think that you maybe had the chance to get him if that traffic wasn't there on the final lap?
Yeah, it was going to be close, come what may. When the white flag didn't come out, I was like, okay, this is on now. I'm going to be on him come that last lap, end of this last lap. But all due to Paul, he put me in a position that, I couldn't do anything with. So, cracking job by him, and, brilliant drive. He kept it smooth, kept it steady, kept the gap, it took me a long time to reel him in. So, cracking job, and congratulations to Paul.
And just talk to me about the rest of your season. Well, I know I keep starting my sentences with that, but the rest of your season here in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship. You, of course, race in real life as well, and we know that there were other factors that meant you couldn't compete in the entire season the first time round. Will we be seeing you for the entire championship this time?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I don't actually properly race in real life. I mainly only do sort of track days, and obviously I run the simulation company. So,
okay.
That's what takes up a vast quantity of my time. But Wednesday nights work for me a lot better. So hopefully I'll be around for the rest of the season.
Well, fingers crossed that we see you getting some more good results, mate. It's great to see a good championship fight developing here. But before we let you go, Matt, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, just want to say a big shout out to Porsche Club GB. This has been a brilliant series, one of the best I've ever been in. Such a lovely group of guys, and it's really brilliant. And I'd also like to obviously give a plug to my simulation company, Midas Simulation. We offer a wide range of simulation components.
Love it. Well, great to speak to you, mate, as always. Well done on your race win tonight and the second place in race 2, and we'll hopefully speak to you again very, very soon.
Cheers, Chaz. Thanks, Peter.
Cheers, Matt. Well done.
Cracking lad, isn't he? The race 1 winner there and second place in race 2, and he's just been dubbed to me as the most unlucky chap in sim racing in general, I believe, in the in Porsche Club GB sim racing. Anyway, Gavin Halls joins us in the commentary box now. Gavin, what happened in that first race, mate? Because we were ready for a 3-way fight at the front of the field, but it just never came about.
Oh no!
I think he might have had another issue here as well. It's seemingly not his night, I'm afraid. Are you there, Gavin? We can't hear you, mate.
Bernie's cut the internet cord.
Maybe so. But yeah, as we're saying, Gavin Hall's been disconnected early on in the evening and not returning for the second race. It's such a shame to see, isn't it? Because we've seen it before from him that he's just got incredible pace, but it just never comes together properly, does it? I mean, Alton Park last season, for example, the pace he was showing was unbelievable, and then all of a sudden there was nothing in the barrel, I'm afraid, when it came to the end of the race. We do have a replacement interview, and it's almost like he's seen the situation developing and thought, I'll jump in to save the day. Ryan Parkins joins us in the booth. Ryan, how are we doing, mate? You must be pretty pleased after that one, mate.
Yeah, it's fine. I spoke to Gavin. I'll be spokesperson in the meantime.
Thank you, mate. What's the sitch?
Sorry?
What's the sitch with Gavin and his disconnection, do you know?
Yeah, he said his internet just dropped out, and it said it was like really intermittent in between the races as well. So yeah, that's why he didn't race. It's just a shame he's dropped out, really, because it was going to be so quick at the front there. I was quite looking forward to a big battle. But Dan Badley was quite close though in both races. That's really good. Such good fun. And yeah, if you're both on the same pace, you can't really overtake. Saying that, Matt overtook me, so yeah.
Yeah, Matt Dorrington though. I mean, he certainly made his intentions clear tonight, didn't he? When it comes to the championship. So fingers crossed that you two can have a very, very good scrap together.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's been really good fun. This layout's a bit strange. I don't know about everyone else. I like the short tracks we do.
Yeah.
This layout's just a little bit weird. I don't think I've done any lap the same. But it's really good fun. And yeah, me and Matt are really going to be hanging out. Hopefully Gavin can come back. You never know. Me and Matt might have to miss a round, or get spun out in both races, and Gavin's straight back up there already. Yeah. There's only 2 races in it, really. So
yeah, very true. Very true. Well, we hope that we can see more of it. And just before we let you go, there, Ryan, because I've been told that Gavin's voice is now working. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
No, not really. But
Love it.
Well done.
Harry Crew.
Harry Crew aren't with me anymore. No, the bosses, they literally had a big meeting about it and were like, "What's in it for us? He should be paying us." And I was like, "No." And then kind of like, cut them off. Cut them right off. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm here. It's all about me anyway.
It's all about the King Hippo.
It is the King Hippo, everybody. Absolutely
Wait
love
till
it.
the merch comes out.
Yeah. I'm starting on that already. Anyway.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ryan. You too, mate. What a guy. What an absolute guy Ryan Parkins is. Absolute hero. I'm wondering whether this works now. Gavin, are you there, buddy? No, he's not. Right, I tell you what, we're gonna go down this route, and we're gonna get Gavin. Here he is. That's odd. It works in here when Gavin's in here with us.
It works fine.
Well, the most unlucky man in sim racing and in Porsche Club GB sim racing, and it seems Discord as well. Gavin, just what happened, mate? I mean, Ryan said it was just intermittent internet.
I started a race. I don't know when you guys saw me disappear, but I got to turn 3. And then all the cars disappeared, and I was like, okay, I think I know what's coming here. And I carried on driving, trying to figure out where Matt and Ryan would be, so I didn't crash into anyone. And then that was it. Game over. Kicked out.
Oh, it was such a shame, man. I was just saying as well before that, we wanted to see that epic fight because the 3 of you were so close in practice, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been closer, but I literally couldn't get the lap. Like, every time I tried, I either caught someone up or... there was someone spun off in front. There was always a problem every lap. So that gap would have been, I think Matt maybe suffered from the same. That gap would have been thousands. There was nothing in it between us.
Well, I think Peter picked up at one point in practice where the three of you were separated by 0.06 of a second. And, I mean, 2 drivers separated by that amount is unbelievable. But 3 of you, that's just remarkable. So, fair play for the pace.
It's mega. I mean, it's just... I'm gutted about the points championship. I just wanted to be out there racing with them, because they're such lovely guys as well. Like, Ryan's my teammate at Porsche Sport, and Matt and me do the instructor for PCGB. So I spend so much time driving with a pair of them, and we just giggle. I mean, it's just hilarious fun. I've literally been crying while I'm driving, just with the banter and even when we're not talking to each other, just the moves that we pull.
Well, that's it.
We had a little.
Sorry,
we had a little plan tonight to try and make Peter have a heart attack. So me and Matt had decided before the round that if we were first and second, coming into the last lap, we were going to drift through the last corner together. That was our plan.
That would be very cool. I've got a conspiracy theory to start up, Gav. I think from the story that you told earlier, which I will not reveal, it will be all revealed on Thursday on the Porsche Sport podcast. It's a big one to tune in for. I think Bernie snipped your internet cord. I think he shut down the whole of Bahrain's internet just to spite you.
Yeah, Bahrain MI5 have shut me down. You cannot silence me though. I will talk. Yeah, so tune into the Porsche Sport podcast this week because we've got an epic story. No one's going to have any respect for me after that.
It involves not one but 2 world champions and one very damaged golf buggy.
Yeah, electricity.
Oh, God. Well, just before we let you go, Gavin, do you want to give a shout out to anybody, mate, while you're here?
I just want to say well done to all the guys tonight, because for the first time ever I've been sat on the other side of the screen watching, and the live stream, the racing tonight was epic, and I'm so proud of the guys. The new guys getting stuck in there, Gary Tall and Co getting stuck in with Dan Baffy. It's so good to see. Everyone's just lifted the game this year, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of the championship. Obviously, a lot of people put hard work in, so big shout out to Bernie. Obviously Matt Dorrington with the training, and Ryan as well giving tips. But everybody behind the scenes, everyone's doing something that, they're all involved in their own little ways, and it's just epic, absolutely epic. And a big shout out to you guys, doing a great job.
Thank you very much, mate. Well, very well said. I agree, and back up all of those comments, because the whole unit together is just fantastic to be a part of, and of course we get the wonderful experience of getting to commentate and broadcast this as well. But thank you very much for joining us, Gavin, and we'll speak to you again very soon, mate.
Imola, two wins and a pole. It's coming. This is it.
There you go. He said it, everybody. He said it. Smashing stuff. Well, thank you, Gavin. We'll speak to you again very soon, mate.
Catch you later, guys. Cheers.
Right then, that was the final interview of the evening then, Peter. Gavin Hall's the absolute legend. And as he said, the racing tonight, mate, it's been epic, hasn't it? That's the only word for it.
Absolutely. And I tell you what a brilliant drive from Paul Riga. And that was, he had the race 1 winner, Matt Dorrington, on his case, and he did not flinch. Many would have, and he didn't. I mean, he really deserved what is now his second win in Porsche Club Great Britain Sim Racing, and he's got to be my driver of the night, because that under that pressure, it's hard to describe unless you've been there. And I have to say, I've been there incredibly little, and I've messed it up every time. Paul, brilliant drive from him, and great to see so many of the new guys up there as well. Gary Tall. And Patrick Charlton too, and I just think we're in for an even better season than we already had in season 1.
Well, I definitely agree with you, mate, but thank you everybody for watching this evening. Thank you to the drivers that took part, and of course the organisers that keep this series ticking over, and of course everybody behind the scenes at Simracersworld TV that keep all of this going as well. Thank you very much, Peter. Pleasure as always, my friend. My name's Chaz Draycott, and everybody have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Imola.